Hi everyone, Titus here for part 6 of our Blender series where we model a flashbang. And in this video we're going to tackle the rings on our reference image with the help of the curves toolset in Blender. Let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Alright, so our rings are actually going to be on the back side of our model, so we'll want to press Ctrl 1, flip around. The last object we modified was the handle, so don't forget to rename it to handle, just so we're keeping everything organized. To do the rings, we'll do a Shift A, we'll do curve, and then you scroll down to the bottom and you'll have curve spirals, and you can do Archimedean. If for whatever reason you don't see that, it's probably because you don't have the add-on enabled, so you can go to your preferences, and then I believe it is add curve extra objects. So if you search for that, it should be a free Blender provided add-on. I'm not really sure why it's not on by default because it's fantastic. I highly recommend it. Some of the other modifiers that we'll be using later, or the add-ons I should say, are going to be box cutter and hard up. So those I think are paid. So, but I recommend them. They're pretty good. But all right, back into it. So we'll do Shift A, curve, and then curve spirals, Archimedean. We're going to turn the steps up to 43, I find is pretty good. And then the turn count, I'm going to leave at 2. If you increase it, you'll see it'll basically make your ring taller. But 2 is good for what we're using it for. And then the height I'm going to use is a 0.1, and that's your offset. So that's basically how much spacing there is between the actual rings as they're going around. Alright, let's go ahead and isolate that with /. I'm going to select the 2 endpoints, because looking at my reference off PureRef, it looks like the ring, there's a little bit of a gap between the overlaps of the rings. So we can press Ctrl+ to increase the selection, hit X and delete vertices, and that'll give us kind of that ring spacing that I'm looking for. Now, once you're happy with the shape of your ring, you can go to the curve options on the right panel. Under the geometry tab, there is a bevel section where you have a depth setting. Increasing the depth will actually increase the thickness. We're going to want to check the fill caps, and I'm going to reduce the resolution to maybe 2. I'll probably do 3. Yeah, I think I'm happy with 3. Alright, we'll come out of isolation mode, Control 1 to go to the back side, grabbing the Z, bring it up, rotating the X, 90 degrees. Gonna go 3 for side view, and I am going to grab in the Y, bring it over here, and then I'm gonna grab in the Z, bring it down, grab in the X, bring it over, and then I need a reference image here. This is far too big. You can see just from the point that encompasses over to the tank. Over here in our reference image, it makes it about to the bottom of the top cat. So I'm going to scroll this down quite a bit, maybe a little bit more. And that is more in line with what I'm looking for. So we'll go Control 1, go to the back side. You can see it is, I need to get it really close here. So I am going to go to 3, grab in the Y, I'm going to nudge it right up in front, actually maybe even a little bit more, because when I go to the back view, I'm going to, actually I'll just rotate in the Y, drag it around right there. What we're going to do is we're going to steal geometry, so we're going to have to convert this curve to a mesh, steal some geo, and then we're going to make the pin that actually holds it in place through that. And we're also going to have to use box cutter to cut a hole through both our handle and our fuse. So I think we'll do that in the next video though. But let's go ahead and prep the objects here, so I'm going to maybe space that just a bit back. And I'm not going to rotate it out yet, I'm going to let it just kind of intersect the mesh for now, just because I'm going to set right now the origin is in the middle of the object. I'm going to actually move the origin up here around the pivot point. It's when we're trying to get a more organic look for the final model. So we'll do that in a sec though. But all right, so before I forget, let's go ahead and we got our resolution set. I am happy with the shape and the size, so I'm gonna right click. I'm gonna convert to a mesh. Before I do, you'll notice when I go into edit mode, I only have single vertices. When I convert it and go back in edit mode, you'll see the geo unlocks. So now I have much more control over the actual shape. All right, so we got our ring done. Let's work on the triangle now, which is this little piece here. So we're gonna do that much the same way. Shift A, curve, and then curve spiral, Archimedean. Instead of 43 steps, we're just gonna do 3. We can leave the turns to 2 and the height the same, and let's isolate it. Now, I can't thicken it because if I do, these turns are gonna be too sharp, and it's gonna look a little weird. So what we'll do is in object mode, we will convert this right now to a mesh. Go back into edit mode, select all. I'm gonna hold shift and deselect the endpoints. And then I'm gonna do Control B, and then for bevel, and then V for vertex. And I'm just going to drag that out a bit, just get a nice smooth triangle shape, kind of like that. Now I can right click in object mode and convert it back to a curve. And then under the curve properties, I can extend out the depth to be about a 0.4. I'm gonna go into edit mode, scale in the Z, and I'm gonna bring the curve shape closer together, kind of like that. I'm gonna bring the resolution down to 3. I'm gonna fill the caps. I am also going to, I'm gonna select this point here, do a Control plus, grow it to right about there, and I'm gonna delete those vertices. And then I'm gonna go to top view with 7. And I wish I had an edge slide, but I don't, so I'm going to have to grab it and kind of manually place it here. So you can use your shift key to be a little bit more precise. Then I'm gonna select this point, go back to top view, and I'm just gonna bring it back just a little bit because I need to give enough space for our pin to grab onto when we steal the geo later. Alright, but I'm happy with that. So resolution's okay with 3. I think we can go out of here and we can right click, convert this to a mesh, and we should be able to right click, shade smooth, come out of isolation mode. Now let's just place it, grabbing the Z, and we will rotate the X and the 90, grabbing the Y, bring it back, Control 1 to go to the back view. I am going to rotate, I'm going to Control to step it, right about there, grabbing the Z, bring it down a bit, and might have messed that one up. Ah, I did. So I'll go Control 1, I did the wrong triangle, or the wrong angle, it's this one right here. So rotate, I'm going to hold Control, and I'll just flip it right around there. And there we go. Now for this one, I am also going to bring it pretty close. So grabbing the Y, probably right about, I guess I'm gonna have to bring it out a little bit, so right around there, because we'll change the pivot point, which I think we'll do now actually, before we forget later on. But yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and change that pivot point. So let's go isolation mode. We'll go back view. Oops, Control 1. And in edit mode, and we're gonna cheat. We're gonna go to edge select and hold Alt. Select that loop. Then if you do Shift S, that brings up your cursor selection. We're gonna do cursor to selected. So that moves our 3D cursor there. Then we can tab into object mode and right click, and we can set the origin to the 3D cursor, like that. So now, coming out of isolation mode, my rotation or my pivot point is right where we're going to be setting the pin later. So it's going to make it easy to get a nice organic look for our model. And then we'll do the same thing here before we forget. So we'll go to isolation, Control 1 for back view, tab for edit. I'm going to pick this top one, just any ring will do, and Shift S, cursor to selected, tab, right click, set origin to 3D cursor. And I can / back out. I can test my pivot point works. Looks pretty good. Alright people, we'll keep this one short, just working on the, the rings. I think in the next one we'll do the pins, and maybe do the text, or maybe we'll save that for a later video too, so I'm trying to keep these kind of short. But I hope you found some informative value here. If you did, consider leaving a like. If you have any tips or tricks of your own, please consider leaving a comment below. It also helps out the community. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.